Hi. Um, Today's video, I wanted to make this quick video for you, but this time I'm sitting at the computer instead of sitting up at trying to do like the popcorn one, because it was bad lighting and everything else. We're going to get a better vlogging setup eventually. It should be here in a couple days. I think it's important because lighting is a big issue when it comes to these S24 cameras, because that's what we shoot off of. We use an S24 Ultra phone camera, and it does a fantastic job. We don't need anything else. If we didn't have this phone, we wouldn't be doing these videos, to be honest with you. So lighting, video, and good sound are important. So anyway, this video is going to be about flat printing and not just about flat printing, but why I argue that flat printing is the way to go for us in N-scale designs. Okay, I printed out I built and designed a building for some customer, not a customer, but somebody, a subscription guy on YouTube. He's asked me to say, can you make this post office? I fell in love with it. I want it. I think he's assuming N-scale. I was hoping he was, but I did it in N-scale. Okay, at least I thought it did. Okay, so anyway, so I printed the building out, made it, showed it to him. He bought it. Okay, he wanted a second one. So when he got the building finally today, he said to me, you know, it's a little bit too big, but I don't want the other one put together. I want to do it myself and everything else. And I thought, well, okay, so how am I going to fix this? So I go to Lindy and I asked her, okay, what should I do? You know, we sold this guy this nice building. He loved it. A little bit too big, but he's okay with it and he wants the other one. What should we do? It's not in the store. This would be something that would be separate, of course, through PayPal or something. She said, why don't we go ahead and try and print it smaller? I said, okay, well, that's a good suggestion, but I'm not going to go in the design and redo it all because I don't have to. Okay, here's the beauty about flat printing. If I printed this building, this post office, and you've seen pictures of it before if you've been following the channel. If you haven't, I'll post them up for you. But if you see this building, it's beautiful, in my opinion, at least I hope to say, and I hope other people feel the same way. I think it looks really cool. It's got a real nice atmosphere. It's got atmospheric lighting, mood lighting, the whole 9 yards. And it's got the detail. It looks almost like real concrete, asbestos, brick type stone. Okay, and if I would have printed this as a full building and didn't do any detailing or didn't do any separation from the windows, the roof, or the perimeter line, or the columns, or anything, and if I just printed it solid, and then the guy asked me, okay, can you make it a little bit smaller? And I go ahead and shrink it down by 10%. And right now I think I printed it at 89 or 99%. And then I've shrunk it down to 10%, which would be 89%. I'm not guaranteed what's going to take or not take. It could all fall apart. It could not, the supports could not handle it. The detail could disappear. A lot of things can happen when I print a solid building. But here's the beauty about flat printing and kitting it. Okay, the windows are separate. The doors are separate. The roof is separate. The base is separate. The lights are separate. Everything is separate. So I can take a part of the building, let's say like this, the main structure, the main building, the 4 walls, and I can shrink them down. I know they're going to take up to 20% because I've done it before. I've done it to 40%, and I could take this building and probably print it in Z-scale if I really wanted to. I know I could push the limits. But that's not what this is about. It just needs to be a little bit smaller. He showed me a picture of the building that he got in the mail next to some other buildings that were kitted by Knock and Walters and other Falters, I think it is, whatever it is, or Fowler or something like that. These other buildings that kind of resemble his setup, but mine stood out because it was a little bit bigger, just a hair, just not much. And so he said, well, I want to buy another one. I love it. I love what you did to it, but I want to paint it myself. He says, and I want to do my own detailing. And I thought, okay, well, we can do that. So I go to Lindy and I say to Lindy, okay, and we didn't sell this through a store. We sold it through PayPal. And I said, Lindy, he wants another building, but he wants it smaller. What do you want me to do about this? You want me to try and shrink it a little bit in the slicer like I normally do? Or do you want me to try and redesign it? What do you want me to do? She goes, I want you to try and shrinking it for him, just for him, because he asked for that specific building. It's a little bit too big. We would love it to have it she says, I want it in my store, but I would like to have it at N-scale. I know you put the disclaimer in there on your buildings that they're not always going to be guaranteed to N-scale depending on the detail and everything else, but let's try it. Okay, so here's the beauty about flat printing. Again, getting back to this. Okay, we're going to load the building up. I'm going to show you that on ice cream. Okay, pretend we're showing you the building now. It's loading up, and then we're going to go ahead and slice it. We're going to slice it normal, let's say. Everything takes, nice, support and everything else. Now we're going to go into that little detail on the left-hand side in Cura. We're going to bring the percentage down 10%, which would be 89, and we're going to slice it again. And you guys are going to witness before your own very eyes that nothing disappears. Nothing of the supports. Everything stays in place. So we know what the 4 walls are going to take, right? But that's not the issue. The issue is, are the doors going to take? Are the lights going to take? Did we make the transoms in the light too narrow? Did we stick to the rule? I think by saying the rule again, and I don't know, maybe we should make some flashcards for this or whatever, but 0.8 for your smallest, or for your safest line, 0.5 for your smallest line, and 1 millimeter for everything else in your detail. I think you'll be more than successful in all your designing work and all your printing work if you can do that. All right, so let's go ahead and bring the windows in. Now we're going to load up all the windows. Okay, like we did. Like I said, we were at 99%. We're going to bring it down. I like to either bring it down 2% or 3%. Sometimes when you spray things with Krylon paint, some paints are thicker, like bronze will be more thicker than the red and the white and the black. Flat black is real thin. Bronze gets kind of thick and cakey, but it looks nice on the windows. And copper does that too. So I would say 3% or 2% smaller on your windows, just to be on the safe side. Now you've already increased on the windows when you designed it, and that's a guarantee. And you're going to get a nice tight fit. But we're painting these things. We're putting enamel paint on it. It's thick. It's not thin. It's not like airbrush. Okay. So we did that. Okay. So now here's the windows. Now we're going to go ahead and shrink them down 10% from that. So it'd be 89. Well, let's go down to 82. 87 maybe, 88, let's see, 89, 87. So we're going to go 87% and see what happens. Okay, slice it, let the slicer go through. Bingo, look at that. No gray lines, everything took. So that must have mean I stayed within my safe rules. 0.4 for the smallest line, 0.5 for the smallest line, 0.8 for the safest line, and now you can see that I was able to shrink that down. Now that building's 10% smaller than it was on the original that I gave to him. That's going to be shrunk by about 2 or 3 millimeters on the overall diameter of the building, or the overall size. So that's going to make it look more smaller and closer to N scale than what he's already got. So I'm able to pull this off. Let's check out the doors. Let's check out we know the roof's going to work. That's a big piece. We know that maybe the detail in that door, that nice little ornate detail, may not take. Wow, look at that, it takes. You see that you could not do that if you had a full structure. If you tried to do it all and didn't do kitting and didn't separate everything, you're saving yourself so much hassle and so much time in correcting things. Now let's say that the windows didn't take. Let's say that they just grayed out in the lights. I know in my program I can go back into the Inventor and I can change that millimeter from 0.5 to 0.6 or 0.7, just make that little light increase, export it in STL. It'll automatically load up again in the slicer, and then boom, I have my windows back. And that's the beauty about it also. When you understand your program and you understand your slicer, you're guaranteed almost successfully what you see sliced is what you're going to see on the print. Now, bed adhesion is important, temperature and quality of your printer is all important also, and also the film. I use Duramic. I love Duramic, but I don't use Duramic anything. I use Duramic Plus. Maybe when we get to that 500 subscription and we can start monetizing, we can start putting links in the thing for affiliate links and stuff like that. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? And then Etsy gets her kickback, YouTube gets a kickback, and then Lindy gets a kickback. That'd be kind of neat. And we can do merch, t-shirts, and everything else. So that's the beauty about the flat printing. Again, another argument I want to share with you, that to make you successful, you got to think differently when you're printing these buildings. You're a kit builder, you're a scratch builder, you're a construction worker, you're a fabricator. You're not a sculptor, you're not doing wargaming pieces or miniatures, and you're not doing washes, and you're not doing layering. We print differently, we paint differently, and when we think that way, we get successful buildings. I think the scratch builders learned that a long time ago. Anyway, that's my little tip on this. Thank you for watching this. And we are getting more better equipment. I'm getting another vlogging system that has better lighting. So when I did that popcorn one, I wasn't too happy with it. And the lighting doesn't, like I said, we're only using an S24 phone here, and we're using a camera from it, but the camera is just as good as a $1,000 camera, in my opinion. It's sharp, it's clear, and we're using these cheap mics. I mean, but the sound is good enough, the lavalier mics. So you don't have to have all that $2,000 Sony cam, and you don't have that $2,000 camera and the big studio lights and everything else. And you can just do it simple. But the lighting is important and the mic is important. So we're getting that equipment coming in, and hopefully these quick videos that I'm doing for you will get your interest. I want to say thank you to you guys. You guys have helped this channel grow. We're at 407. We're growing. We're getting lots and lots of views on our shorts. We're getting lots and lots of likes, and we're getting lots and lots of comments and feedback. And Lindy's blowing up the social market with her N-Scale workshop, and the sales are coming in. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you, blessings, and goodbye.